So, hello guys. This is my dark spot, and today I'm super excited to finally meet Lea of the band Besvärjelsen. So, hi Lea,
Perfect.
and
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me. This is going to be real fun.
Yeah, I hope so. Tell me about your day. Oh, by the way, I know you're probably super exhausted, but like I cannot wait to start. Can you tell me about your day? How did you spend your day?
I was at work today. I work as like an assistant for a kid, and we actually went to Dalhalla today, which is like a big. It's a concert venue, but it's like in a mountain cave, kind of. Like you go really deep down, and then there's like a
Wow.
stage and water, and it's really intense. So we were there and we watched like symphonic orchestras, but it was kids playing, so it was fun. It was really nice. They were really good.
Wow. Yeah, I like, you would be surprised, what kids can do. Like many years ago, I was watching some kids, doing some covers, like, I don't know, like serious covers, like
Mhm.
Dream Theater, Tool. And I was
Wow,
like, fuck,
I could
like,
never do that.
yeah, you can. Of course you can. No,
I
but it
wish I
was
was
like,
good at instruments, but that's never been my thing.
yeah, but I mean,
But I think
your
it's
vocal.
patience a lot.
Yeah. That's why I gave up on learning guitar because I was
Mhm.
like, no, let's try with singing. And I was like,
Mhm.
my clean singing is not the best, probably because I don't practice every day. But
Mhm.
then I started growling and screaming, and people will be like, wait, why are you not in some band? Like, I don't know. And I was like,
Nice.
well, I can think about it, you know. It's
Well,
actually
we
a lot
definitely
of,
need more girls that growl, so you should
yeah.
definitely do that.
Yeah, thank you for the support. Well, yeah, I hope so, but it really takes a lot of strength and practice and to try to save your vocal cords. Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
definitely. I was in punk bands when I was younger, and I killed a lot of my vocal cords during those years.
Oh, well,
Uh,
you can tell us about it. I mean, about the band. You told me
mm,
you were in some punk bands and
mhm.
you were singing. And how was it like when you remember days back then?
So this was like how I guess got into playing in bands.
Yeah,
I really didn't think that I could sing, so I was like, I'll just scream instead. So I played in a punk band in Stockholm with some of my friends for a few years. Totally ruined my voice because I'm also a smoker and a drinker and not really
yeah.
good at like doing vocal warm-ups and stuff like that. So I had a few years where my voice was just like totally dead.
Oh, but what did
But
you
it was
do?
fun.
Yeah, but it comes with a price. All the
Yes,
best
it
things
does.
come with a price. But how did you manage to recover the voice? Because I know a lot of singers, especially from metalcore kind of bands and generally, that black, they ruin
Mhm.
their voices. But
Mhm.
what did you do to recover it? What's the kind of that process you had?
Well, mostly just like being quiet for a while. And then just doing a lot of singing. I've been doing a lot of like vocal coaching for these past years and just, learning to, because I think most people assume you just open your mouth and you sing and it just sounds good. But I mean, it's
No,
like
no,
with a
no,
guitar,
no.
you need to tune it, you need to practice, you need to, there's so many levels of it. And for me, it took forever to actually like dig deep into that and see that what I actually have in here. Like,
Yeah.
I get surprised all the time that
So
it
how
works.
how did you switch, from screaming to clean singing? How did it go?
Mostly because I just switched bands. I started playing with a band that was more like prog rock and was more. I did more like background singing, oohs and ahs, and then I took it from there because like I think Besvärjelsen I started playing with in 2005. So there was a gap from I think I quit the punk band when I was like 19. So it was like a 6 year gap where I didn't really do that much with singing, mostly just playing tambourine and being drunk and, standing in the background.
That's also cool. Yeah, I think we have all, been through, drunk phases or whatever. It's kind of
Of course.
process. And what happened before you joined the band? That situation, before that, what happened? Like just recently before you, how did you decide to join the band?
In Besvärjelsen,
Yeah, yeah.
I knew Andreas from before. I knew him from work. He plays guitar, and I knew that I wanted to sing in a band that was more towards like the stoner doom thing. And he told me that he'd started Besvärjelsen with Staffan and Olle, our old drummer. And I guess I just forced him to let me come and try out. And I just stayed.
That's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, I have been noticed, that there are so many great doom stoner bands with female vocalists. And I was
Mhm.
like, I'm super glad to have them on my channel. Like I had Emma recently from
Mhm.
Galpa. And
Fun.
also you have heard about Luna? They're from UK, Birmingham.
Mm, I think I've seen the name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah, and it's like okay, I didn't have the singer, but the
Mhm.
drummer Jack Mason was in the interview, and I was like, okay, so let's see if I can get more female
Mm.
vocalists to the channel, because I really think it's very important, because I have a feeling that women have to work hard, like super hard, to be appreciated,
Mhm.
and not gonna lie, we can do all the jobs that men can do.
Mhm.
I know
Yeah, if
women.
not better.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. I know women who can fix, like, I don't know, like a truck or something or whatever, like many things. And I
Mhm.
think we deserve a lot of attention, definitely, more than we
Definitely.
get. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. What do you think about stoner bands, or generally bands with female vocalists? Can you pick some of your favorites, maybe?
Favorites. I would say oh, it's hard. I mean, Galpa are freaking amazing, of
Yeah.
course. And Emma's also like the coolest person, which just makes the band
Yeah.
even better. I really like a Swedish artist. I guess you can say she's kind of like maybe not stoner, but very doomish, called Anna von Hauswolf.
I
She does
did.
like an organ
Yeah.
based doom. I'll send you some of her music. It's really good.
Cool. Cool.
Um, I really like Blood Ceremony, who are also out with Galpa on tour right now. Super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I know about it.
We had a Swedish band called Katla, who aren't really active anymore, I think, but they're also really cool. I think in
Yeah.
Sweden in general, we have a lot of good female vocalists that sing in heavy bands.
Yeah. What about the scene in Sweden? Because in my country, it's disaster. Like it was huge many years ago, but with the degradation of culture and a lot of political happenings, it affected like alternative scene. And there
Mm-hmm.
are not so many concerts, like happenings like that. So when
Mm-hmm.
something happens, like we all hurry, to
Mm-hmm.
get the tickets and enjoy together and chill. So I think, as far as I heard from Emma, the
Mm-hmm.
scene there is like super cool. Like there are so many great underground bands as well. What can you say
Yeah.
about that?
Well, there are a lot. I mean, like the stoner scene is really nice because it's a very friendly scene. Like it feels very like family like. We have a festival that's called Krökbacken that is just like an hour from where I live. And it's kind of like the big like the company party of stoner bands. Everyone
Cool.
goes, people take turns playing different years, but everyone shows up, everyone supports each other. Like it's a really nice scene. And a
Yeah.
lot of people play like in different bands. Like most people can't stay away from having one band, so they play in like five, so you can, you know, play around.
Yeah.
But I think it's a nice scene. I mean, the issue with being like a female in this scene is always, that's the music industry in general. I wouldn't say that the stoner doom scene is particularly, one way or another, but it is a really nice scene. Like it's a people show up.
Yeah, that's
It's
super cool
nice.
when you hear that, because here, like, I mostly travel to, two countries around to see a certain band, because here is just like disaster. You know what I mean? Yeah. And tell me about how important is connection with the fan base with you? I mean, to you and to your band members. What do you think about? I mean, I think it's like a double-edged sword because it can be like healthy, about the support, and you can even, get some people for collaboration or whatever. But on the other hand, it can be pretty much tricky, and they can be, demanding sometimes. I mean, like a lot of different things are happening. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's a fine line how you interact with people. I mean, it's, of course, I mean, we wouldn't play if people didn't show up to the shows, and, people buy the merch and the albums. So um, always be respectful and always be nice. But I think as a female, a lot of our fans are males. I've learned the hard way that you can't be too nice either, because that may send out the wrong signals and stuff.
Same problem here. Yeah.
And that's shitty. I mean, because you go out, you get drunk, you play, you're nice, you have fun. But I mean, we have some like hardcore fans here in Sweden that always show up, and I would say that some of them have become good friends because you see each other at other people's shows, you go up, you give them a hug. It's fun times. With social media as well, people follow you, they interact with you in like your daily life. But it's a hard line. Like, I think in the beginning I was a little bit more naive with that at shows, being too friendly, like,
yeah.
So it's hard, but I'm learning how to like be available but not be available as like a private person. I think it's also like separating, like if I'm out playing, I'm not, I'm the Lea in the band, not myself.
Yeah.
So not let people into the private sphere, I think is very important.
Yeah, depends on what kind of people, because I have the very same problem, because people like to approach, and I am generally also super friendly, but then again, like, I also have some boundaries, and when people break them, I can be terrible, like a pinhead. I'm literally a pinhead,
But
and
that's
people
also
will
like a
like,
shitty thing. I'm sorry.
sorry, no, you
No, no.
continue.
It was just like a shitty thing that also I think is, I mean, for women, if we, there's also a fine line between being like a cool and being like a bitch. And
Yeah.
also the scene is small, and if you're rude to someone, then you're a bitch. They, pass your boundaries,
Yeah.
then it's my fault. Like, that's also very hard. You have to think about that in
Yeah.
interacting with people.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know, too much of thinking, and I don't like to think that like everything you always have to calculate something. I just hate it. I just like to be natural, but you simply in this world it's not always possible, sadly. Yeah, but I do appreciate women like Shirley Manson from Garbage, like that attitude we need, like you know
Yeah.
that, yeah,
I'm a
definitely.
huge Courtney Love fan, so I
Yeah, like it just like I totally get you. You simply cannot get people do whatever they fucking want with you, but yeah, you should be nice. But that all, even kindness has its own limits, definitely.
definitely.
Yeah, I was so sad when I heard, I think, I think a girl from a band, I'm just trying to remember the band, not that famous, but I hope I will figure it out. But never mind. The story is, so she is an awesome singer. Like she has a great scream, growl, clean singing, everything perfect.
Mhm.
And and when she came out, she was on the stage, and some males were pretty much rude, and being kind of offensive. And she was
Mhm.
like, I was even thinking about giving up. Like
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do. But then again, I was like, fuck that. Like I cannot really, give up on something I like just because of rude people. That's their problem, not mine. And I won't let this, but it's actually super hard. It's more hard than we think.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like, as you say, you can't let that people win that act like
exactly.
that. But
Yeah.
there's always going to be assholes. Whatever you try to, pursue, there's always going to be people that are fucking shit.
Yeah, yeah. And how about dealing with I also heard some females experience problems, with record labels. And
Mhm,
how is it important to stand up for yourself? Because, in certain record labels, they demand you, to do this, to say this, they
mhm,
decide what you're going to put on social media. So
mhm.
what's your situation like with that?
Well, I've had experiences that have been, it feels like people just kind of look past you, or you're supposed to just, show up and smile and be like, oh.
Yeah,
But
like,
like with Besvärjelsen, at least, I mean, we've only worked with amazing people. All the record labels that we've worked with have been super awesome. And I know that I also play in a band with people that have my back. So like I would never in Besvärjelsen be put in a situation that would make me uncomfortable. I really, yeah, they would never.
yeah,
But I mean, it's hard. I mean, the music industry, especially like the higher you come up, is a lot of people that don't make music themselves. They only see, the money, and to
yeah,
them, you're just like a freaking cow that they can milk.
exactly. Yeah,
So I think that's a nice part with like I wouldn't say that we're in the DIY scene, but I mean it's a smaller scene, and it's more friendly because people like smaller record labels. I don't know what they would get from being fucking assholes, because then people are gonna know.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad. I mean, I hope you are satisfied with your current record label. Yes.
Yeah,
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 that's super cool. Yeah.
yeah.
And tell me about what I have noticed. Tell me
Mhm.
about the Swedish culture and the reflection of the culture on your music.
Well, we live up in Dalarna, which is like 2-3 hours north of Stockholm, the capital. And Dalarna is known for being a lot of mountains, a lot of forests, and also folk music is really big up here. So it's a lot of the traditional Swedish folk music. So I think a lot of the music, especially when we moved up here, because when we started this phase and I was still living in Stockholm, Andreas was living in Stockholm. Um, I think at the start we were more of like a kind of typical stoner band, but everyone moved up here at the same time. And I think coming back to the roots because they're from here, and for me, just leaving the city and just coming up to the woods and the mountains, and it definitely made the music more earthy, and it brought in kind of that the saying, well, just the folk music sound. I think
Yeah,
like the guitars, the way that they're played, and the drums, like everything is very connected to folk
yeah,
music.
yeah,
And I think that's what makes it special. It's not like, because a lot of bands, I'm not going to say names, but the whole desert scene and the whole like the original stoner bands, a lot of bands maybe from here want to sound like that, but they've never been to the desert. So you just try to duplicate the American sound, or like the
oh
super
yeah,
British sound. I really like bands that take what we have here and make it their own, and make it their own sound.
yeah,
Like Gaupa also, they're also from here. I think they also have like this really earthy, you can hear that they don't live like in the middle of the city in skyscrapers. Like
yeah.
they have that the earth in them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have heard that you use certain instruments, but I have no idea about the instruments. I
Mhm,
just hear something very special, and that's
mhm.
what makes songs super unique. But
Yeah.
here is the thing. So I have noticed some kind of super cool, sinister atmosphere in
Mhm,
certain songs, and I just want to know how you created. I suppose I think some of your band members spoke in some of the interviews that you
mhm,
probably you have different approaches to creating something.
mhm,
Sometimes you come up with a whole song. Sometimes you just jam. But
mhm.
if you want, do you sometimes want to create something like purposely, sinister, more dark and doomy? And what kind of effects do you prefer using?
I think most of the times I have an idea, but
Yeah,
I'm really bad at, like, I can visualize the idea, but when I actually start recording, it's never as I want it to be. I always think that I want to make something heavier, darker, etc. But I always kind of end up not like that. everyone takes their own influences, and that's, I think, a nice part with Besvärjelsen, that it's not just like, as I said before, just the stoner. It's, people have taken all of their weird kind of music influences and just thrown them in, and we've found a way to like balance out the mix. And for me, like when it comes to singing, I mean, my favorite vocalists are like Mariah Carey and Lauryn Hill. I grew up listening to R&B and pop music, and ABBA, and so I think a lot of, for me, the singing that I bring in, I take influences from that kind of music, and I just apply it on harder music. Like on Atlas, I think a lot of the like melodies and things are like Kate Bush inspired, more more those kinds of artists. And I think it's nice. It's, because music is music. Like you don't have to be too like genre focused. Like, I mean, I would love to make music and sound like fucking Electric Wizard, but I don't really have that in me when I try.
I get what you are saying. When you told me about your influences, I was kind of surprised because in certain songs I kind of hear those grungy vibes, like, but I don't like labeling things and comparing, but when I say something like that, this is like the best possible meaning ever. Like, have you ever been influenced by any chance by Lane from Alice in Chains?
Maybe? Actually, I haven't. I appreciate grunge. I grew up being a Nirvana fan, of course, Pearl Jam. Haven't really listened that much to Alice in Chains, but during the pandemic, when there was no live music, I started watching a lot of live music on YouTube. And during the writing process of Atlas, I had like total blackout. I didn't write for weeks, and I had super bad anxiety and like just couldn't do anything. And I had the music for the song Digerliden, and I was watching the MTV Unplugged Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful concert. And after that, I wrote that song, and that song is so Alice in Chains. Like it's, I stole their whole vibe for that song. I think it's beautiful. Alice in Chains, not.
I like to hear those grungy vibes, and especially I don't know, certain songs really have that kind of feeling, because everyone is talking about like, I don't know, Black Sabbath, when you mention doom, like the biggest influence ever. But what I heard actually when I was listening to Aluna and even Gaupa, like the things you do with your voice, I'm not sure how to call it, those variations, and that kind of vocal range and style, it totally gives off some grungy vibes, especially with a combination of guitars, certain effects, riffs. And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's so do you think there is a connection between grunge and doom? Because everyone is talking about totally different like stoner doom bands, and like they stick to it, but no one mentions grunge ever. At least I didn't hear of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think all music is, of course, connected like inside of us. We have like the folk music, we have the ancestral music, we like drums, we like beats. But also you listen to music growing up, and you catch certain things. Like well, I'm a big Hole fan. I love Hole. I love Courtney Love, Melissa Auf and they have on is it on what album is it? I mean, they have some songs that are like super super heavy and slow. I mean, most people will label them as a grunge band or a punk band, but they also have songs where they're just like, it's just heavy, like freaking Liquid, and L7 also super hard. So I mean, yeah, it's all connected. And for I've been working on another project. We were down in Morocco last year and made music in the desert there, and to like find the combination between music from like the Middle East and India, the effects that those kinds of styles have had on popular music. Like in the 60s and 70s, all of the rock bands, you know, Zeppelin and Beatles, you know, they would go to other countries and find their sound, and they would, you know, make this psychedelic and, you know, that whole style. And I mean, all of that is folk music as well. Middle Eastern music. I mean, like System of a Down. I mean, what makes them special is folk music. So, I mean, all music is connected. I think when you label it up, you know, with pictures and like image and style, you can make it like black metal or grunge or whatever. But if you take it out of maybe that visual concept, I think most music could be kind of anything. Like I was listening to Ghost the other day, and I was like, this is ABBA. I mean, it's ABBA with corpse paint. It's not that heavy. Like it's good, but it's not that. If I would just look at a picture, I'd be like, you know. But when I just hear it, I'm like, yes, you know, disco balls.
Yeah, people here, like most of my friends, especially you know, friends from bands, they be like, I don't know, they cut their wrists to Ghost. You know, I'm not such a huge fan. Like they're okay. Like I mean, they're like, oh my god, did you hear the new album? They should you know, win a Nobel Prize for it. That's like okay, they're good. Maybe you know, I didn't give it a chance. Because my problem with that band is, I'm not saying that they're a great band, you know, but I just didn't listen to them that much, you know what I mean? But I was like, my problem with them, so I saw them and I expected Dimmu Borgir, and I was like, why is this? That's my problem, and that's awful
we get mind
from me.
like that.
Yeah, and that's super awful for me. But then there is another band, Sleep Token. You probably heard of them. They have those, you know, like they're all mysterious, like they have those masks and symbols and everything. And also I expected, who knows, I always expect something, you know, like when I say that black atmospheric something, black metal. And then, you know, but when I heard them first time, I was like, okay. But then I got more into the songs, and this is like alt rock metal, progressive something, and so emotional. I was like, damn, that's it. Yeah. Did it happen to you with certain bands? Did you like you kind of didn't give too much chance to the band? Then you was like, okay, this is so good, like you know.
Well, Ghost is actually a good example for that case, because when they released their first album, I heard it. I love the music. I think the music on that album is so fucking good, but I couldn't stand the voice, the vocals. It's like it just, my head just like, I don't know where to listen, like, because I think it looks so cool, and like the whole aesthetic I think is beautiful. And then they were playing, I used to work at like as a concert photographer, and they were playing at a festival here in Sweden, and it was it's like what's it called, Gasklockorna. It's like a really small venue, so, and they were only letting like 100 people in, and this was like the beginning, so they were really hyped. And since I had my photography license, I could just walk right in, and I had no expectations at all. And I was standing in the front, like ready with my camera, and Papa, I don't know what Papa he was then. He came out, and it was like, you know, the smokes and the lights, and it was so fucking good. I was like sold. I'll listen to Ghost forever now. And also, you know, live, the vocals kind of got mixed into everything, so I didn't feel like it was, you know, as hard. And also that's like getting used to it. I mean, now, as I said, I listened to Ghost just the other day. I think it's a fucking great band, and I think it's really cool. Like what they're doing visually, music. And I love ABBA, so I mean, obviously.
That's it. Always, that's what I have noticed. Yeah, people who like ABBA, they'll definitely give a chance to Ghost, and they will get into them.
But that's always nice, because I try, like at festivals and stuff, it's easy to be like, oh, that band's shit. But I've seen a lot of bands that I thought were shit, and then I saw them live, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I have noticed? Certain bands, like, I don't know, Cannibal Corpse, and I don't know, Dying Fetus, and I can listen to that. I mean, I listened to them way more before, you know, but now I'm just exploring different genres and everything. But I prefer seeing those kind of bands and genres live. Like I cannot really, you know, there's a lot of energy to it and a lot of atmosphere, and when you put it just into the disc, and
Mhm.
like, what am I doing here? And then I go to the concert, and like, no, that's it,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
why we go to the
Yeah,
concerts.
you
Yeah,
need the whole experience because it's, when you're doing
yeah,
your dishes, sometimes you don't want to be like, "Rah."
yeah.
Sometimes you do, but not all the
But
time.
yeah, but
Mhm.
certain bands, like, I don't know, they have always great atmosphere. Like, no matter live or like Alice, Typo Negative, Nine Inch
Mhm.
Nails, Depeche Mode.
Mhm.
It's just like, no matter which way you choose to listen to them, it's just
Mhm.
like, I know a lot of people, who went to Depeche Mode like back early in '90s. They're like, oh my God, the
Mhm.
best concert ever. Like, what is your best experience from the concert?
Ooh, oh, so hard. Um, oh, I would say Lauren Hill is the best,
Oh,
because that was also like super nostalgic. I
yeah,
had
yeah.
like no expectations because I had heard that like she's kind of like rude on stage, and she like doesn't play whole sets, and like my expectations were really low, because also like knowing from seeing your idol is not always a great thing, because as like sometimes you see bands and you start liking them after seeing them live, sometimes you have bands that you love and then you hate them after seeing them
Yeah.
live, because like it's not a good experience. But that was a fucking beautiful show. Like she rapped and she sang, and it was just so perfect, so perfect. And also the nostalgic part, she did Fuji's songs, which was amazing. Yeah, that was really, really good. But also, I was at a concert just a few weeks ago. A German artist called Nils Fram. He does
Okay.
like minimalistic electronics. It's kind of like very film music, but he builds like a set of just like synthesizers and pianos, and he had like glasses of water, and then he just live makes beats with like loops, and he just like runs around manic and just makes, like, it was amazing. And it was also in like a big concert hall. I love sitting down watching shows because I'm old and my back fucking hurts. So we're like sitting at perfect seats. That was really, really cool. Because also like he loved what he was doing. I watched him a lot on YouTube, and when someone's having fun, that's always nice to see. They're
Yeah,
not there just to like make money. They're there because they
exactly.
freaking love music.
Yeah.
So that
And
was really, really cool.
do you feel like you get inspiration to create your own things when you see something like that?
Mhm.
And what are the
Yeah.
best ways for you to get inspired to create something, anything?
Well, always when you see someone like that, because like I have organs and pianos and shit upstairs, and I've had a long period of time where I've just like not touched anything, because I sit down and I'm just like, what to do? But after that, I sat for like 2 days, just like like a
Yeah,
madman
yeah.
playing, because of, oh yeah, just being inspired. So I'm looking forward to. We're going to a festival this week, playing, and next week we're going to Freak Valley, and I'm just so excited to see live music, because also during like the pandemic, when everything
Yeah.
just disappeared, it was such a wake up call to like how much I freaking love
Yeah.
love seeing live music and just discovering bands, and like that is the inspiration. And
Yeah, I was like, during the pandemic, I was like, it wasn't allowed, to go out but I found my ways,
mm,
of course,
mm,
and I was like, when this ends, if this ends, I'm gonna just go to every possible show I can afford if I'm not
mm,
sick or something. And that's how it was.
yes.
Yeah. And do you have plans? I mean, I think, did you mention something about Europe and tour? Something is going to happen.
We're playing at Freak Valley in 2 weeks in
Okay,
Germany. That's the only thing we have booked
but
outside
something
of Sweden.
closer, like at least Budapest,
Well, if
Belgrade.
you have any good contacts, hook me
Well,
up.
yeah, you won't believe me how many bands
Huh?
asked me that, but
Mhm.
sadly, I cannot do anything to bring bands here. I'm just like, except to my channel. Sadly, at least the situation is like that for now. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I can always change. Maybe you'll start a club, you can come down.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I just would like to see bands here, or because I'm not sure this situation here is terrible, as I told you.
Mhm.
But if you are going to plan something, I think you're going to announce it on your page, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, it would be cool. And definitely,
yeah.
I believe that many people would love to see you because I totally spammed all of my friends with your band. Like, it was
Mhm.
just like,
Aw.
when people say, I don't impose my music taste on other people. I do because they have to learn about good
I
music.
am the music god.
you
I'm
know?
like that as well. I love giving like, can I make you a playlist?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
I love making playlists. So
I send a playlist to people, so I'm going to send you too. I
hmm,
think you wouldn't
fuck
mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
And
Perfect.
can you tell me about your day at the studio? What do you guys like doing? I mean, I have seen certain rehearsal recently,
Mhm.
from some guys from the band we later had interview, and they're
Mhm.
just be, drinking and chilling and doing the great job. And I was like, if I were drinking, I would have done nothing. I was just like,
Mhm.
let's go to the party, like fuck everything, fuck rehearsal. But how do you manage all that? And I mean, your working shifts, and I suppose it's hard as hell to, arrange everything.
Yeah, I mean, mostly, well, now recording Atlas, it was during the pandemic.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we weren't allowed to be everyone in the studio at once. So I wasn't with them when they did like the music base. And normally, me and Andreas, we usually work on the vocals together. Like we do one day in the studio where we just drink a lot of beer and just record. And then Staffan comes in, our other guitarist, and he's more, he has like the perfect pitch. So he comes in and he's like, doot, 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 switches it up, pulls us down to the ground, and we're like, masterpiece. And yeah, then we just drink more beer. Like for Atlas, I think we recorded singings for like 2 days. And then the last day or night or morning or whatever you want to call it, at like 3 in the morning, I think I just re-recorded everything because I was on like the perfect drunk, we'll just say drunk. Everything just sounded really good. So we recorded that. And also with Frost, like I think we recorded 2 or 3 songs that we don't remember recording. So
But
for me,
turned
beer
out to
just
be
like,
great, right?
yeah, you come down and you're like, oh,
Well, that's what
not
this is.
bad.
Well, I think the best things definitely show up when you absolutely have no idea what you're doing. You're just like
Mm,
going with the flow, like whatever is happening. Like, I
mm,
mean, look at Sid Barrett. Like, to me, he is like he was fucking genius.
mm,
Like, it was just like, the things they did on that album, Piper at the
mm,
Gates of Dawn. I,
mm.
I was like, what? Like the best album ever, ever. Like people
Mm.
can complain because I always argue with my friends, like who is better, and I was like, listen, Sid, period. We all know that, But also, when I spoke to Emma about
Mm,
ways to get inspiration and everything, we also agreed that you can be also perfectly straight, but if you're just a little bit crazy by
mm,
nature, you can create also insane things. Like, you know
mm.
what I mean? Like by crazy, I'm
Yeah.
not meaning anything bad, but just have certain insane
Mhm.
ideas. What do you think about that?
Well, like I wouldn't want to say that like I need to be fucked up to be able to produce, but I mean
Yeah,
all of my best songs I have written and recorded while a little bit fucked up.
yeah,
Because I think
yeah.
it gives, oh, this is gonna sound so alcoholic, I'm sorry, but it gives a space where you like, it's like I'm an overthinker, especially
Same.
when I'm sober, and I get really like I, the confidence I think is a problem.
Yeah,
And when you get a little drunk, you get the liquid confidence,
yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
works in the studio, never live. I drink a little bit before we play, but I would I don't do shows drunk because then it turns into Besvärjelsen karaoke show,
Yeah.
and then no one's happy afterwards. But I think a little boost like that is fine. I could never like, when you watch old like documentaries, bands who are like they do acid for 5 days and record. no, I could never do that. I would just, yeah, no. I played piano on acid once. That was fun for no one except for me. So I admire people that like can really go into their heads like that. But for me, it's like beer. I love beer.
Yeah, I
Beer
used
is
to love it too. Yeah. I mean, I totally lived some crazy life until I was almost dead like a few times. Like I was insane, and then I was like, okay, am I going to live or die? So you gotta choose, and
yeah.
when you're fucking up everything, that's not even fun anymore. You get tired, exhausted, and I was like, okay, let's try and be straight and see what's going to be like, So yeah, but
Yeah, it's the
yeah.
fine line, you know.
Yeah. So like when you go to the rehab by yourself, it's like
Like maybe I should not have had those last five.
yeah, but I admire people who know how to drink. I totally respect it. And I hang out with
Mm,
people who drink and whatever. I don't mind it. It's
mm,
like just it's whatever you want to do, just as long as you're
mm.
safe and everything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not like an asshole. I mean, we've
Yeah.
all had our fair share of those people as well. Where it's like
Yeah.
a glass of water wouldn't kill you.
Yeah. And yeah, what I also want to ask you about, I was totally like blown away by your videos. Like I'm not sure even I don't know, like even where to start, like clouds or even the cardinal right. I was like where did you get the idea for creating those videos? And are you open to collaboration in the
Mhm.
future for creating something more? For example, here I would like to collaborate with some people, to create something, but of course, like if they invite me. But what do you
Mhm.
think about that? I mean, and tell me about, yeah, how you created those.
Yeah, before I think before we did Atlas, I think all of the videos we did before our drummer Eric made, with some help from people, but I think he edited all of the videos because he really likes making videos, and that's super practical to keep it in the band because I mean making videos is expensive, of course, the
Yeah.
craft, but and we're poor because we play stoner music, but for this album we were kind of like we had a little budget and we were only actually supposed to make two videos. We were supposed to make Digerliden, which was made by Eric, our drummer. He and I just shot it. I think we shot it in like an hour in my backyard. Uh, I got I got a boy to buy me some deer hearts that we used for the video. So we just like took my neighbor's shovel and just went out in the garden. Um, and then we were supposed to do the Cardinal Ride, which is made by my friend Yuan. Yuan is an amazing, the gore. This was an idea that he had because I'd collaborated with him in some of my other bands. So I kind of just told him like I want blood. You just do the rest. So we rented out like a castle for the day and shot. It was it was totally magical. And Clouds, which actually we weren't supposed to have a video for Clouds. That was supposed to be the second single. But then I have a friend, his name's Mats Ek, and he is a video director. He makes like all the videos for Skräcködlan, Myrkur. And he had moved into a house like 10 minutes from me recently, and we were hanging out. And like we've talked about working together, but for some reason we just haven't. And then we were like, what are we going to do tonight? Should we watch a movie? Like, maybe we should just make a video. So we shot Clouds just 2 nights. We went to like the big grocery store. We bought a bucket of blood and like some firecrackers and just got like a thing of glass. And then we just set it up. He had like a back room in his house that had no heat. It was so fucking cold. If you would zoom out, I'm sitting with like winter clothes that I've taped to be naked on top. And I have so much shit underneath me. And I have like blood leaking all over my clothes. And it smelled horrible in the room. And then we just used like firecrackers, by the cameras. And we borrowed a smoke machine that almost freaking gassed us to death because it was so thick. He was like sitting behind me, like, trying to lip sync. And it just turned out, Clouds is one of my favorite music videos. I think it turned out really, really good because it's just really simple as well.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there, and it took us 2 afternoons to just put it together.
But the best things, I mean, someone can do, you have to put a lot of effort. It can be simple, but then you always come to some kind of suffering. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm gonna create it, but I'm gonna go through this, but it's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so big on some huge expensive videos, like look at certain bands, like they just, for example, let's say one of my favorites ever, Type O Negative, Love You to Death. Like it's very simple, but like like it's autumn, it's romantic, it's just like it's nothing like that huge, but still it's well combined with the song. That's what you do, perfectly combine it, make something simple but yet effective. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. My boyfriend and I, we have nights where we just like sit and we drink beer and we watch music videos. Like we take turns in showing great videos, and it's always the simple ones that get us. That we're like, we watched the Johnny Cash video for Hurt, when he sits there with the piano, and then his wife is in the background, and they're both just so old. You know that they died like right after making that video. It's like,
I see. Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, but what did you imagine? Do you have certain ideas when we are talking about it, for the future? I mean, does something come up to your mind right now?
Well, I think I have kind of a visual idea for most of the songs. When you create them, you have the backstory, and like I had some ideas for some of the songs that were like, I don't know where we would have published them, because I really like the extreme. I like gore. I really like ultra violence. I really enjoy like the visual part of that, not in real life. But I think also maybe, the other guys, they live more family lives with, regular jobs. So sometimes you have to think about that balance as well. You can't just like, go batshit crazy. Even though I would love to. Maybe someday when we have, the budget and don't have to go to normal work.
Yeah,
that can be sensitive,
Yeah, it's totally fucked up, for the bands, because people always get that idea, like, you say the band, but you have no idea. A lot of people have no idea how much effort I mean, you actually put into that work. And, especially when bands are touring, they go in a tour bus. It's so exhausting, probably, for the bands to arrange everything, and I even think, maybe probably people would like to kill me for saying this, but certain bands, for example, are usually famous bands, are super overpriced. Like I'm not throwing any names, but on the other hand, amazing underrated bands, even from my country, for example, Gaupa, many bands, like totally, like you guys deserve like 10 times more money than you charge. You know what I mean? How do you, I mean, what can you comment on that?
I mean, it's hard. I actually had this discussion with someone the other day. It's festival season, and I mean, after the pandemic, of course, everything's a little behind. And I mean, there are a lot of great bands, a lot of up and coming bands that are, I mean, fucking world class. And unfortunately, not gonna put any names, but some festivals, they're so focused on booking, the same bands that have been playing for like fucking 50 years. People in the band are old as shit. They can't play anymore. Like but it's this band. And okay, we can like Guns N' Roses. I'm not a fan, so I'm gonna bash a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, it's not. I mean, they had their prime time. I think they played at a big festival here like last year, and they still had the audacity to fucking show up, hours late be rude. They don't, they don't play great. And I mean, the money that they probably got to be there could provide and help bands that, work their asses off for real, that don't have a crew. They make their own merch. They sit in the car for 12 fucking hours to get to the festival.
Exactly.
I think it's really shitty. And I get that you have to sell tickets, so you have to have, big names. But I think if people were open, people would enjoy seeing small bands as well, because the experience can be just as freaking good. And you need to start somewhere. It's like the thing, you have to have, a 10-year experience for a job that you just got examined for. It's like, we need to play to get out. And it's really shitty to feel like you're standing in line and you're just like,
it's kind of insulting to the audience, like, and everything. And what I also don't like, I mean, okay, no one asked me to buy certain merch from the bands, but the thing is, like, I also ordered certain merch, not gonna say, of course, the name of the bands, and it's like, it was written, okay, it's like 100% cotton. What I got is like some kind of, I don't know, everything except cotton. And it's like the price of that merch was like, you know what I mean? And on the other hand, and the same happened at certain concerts as well. Like, merch is expensive, but okay, I'm gonna pay for it. I like the band, but like, dude, show me some quality. Like, you know what I mean? And then again, like, for example, I go to support some of the bands, some friends, and they have exquisite merch. You know what I mean? That is super cheap, and I want to pay for it, of course, to support the band. And they're like, no, 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 you have this for free. And I'm like, I don't feel well because I want to give them money. How do you generally swim in that sea of consumerism and everything? Like, it's all about likes and selling out. Well, what do you think about that? How do you, I mean, because I don't swim very well, and to me, it's like devastating. So I'm trying to find peace in some other things. But what do you think about that?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, social media is, it's a great way to get out there. I mean, with TikTok and, all of these viral sensations, you can really get an audience in a, I guess, kind of easy way, even though it's a minefield as well to like navigate. For us, I mean, we're like the generation that didn't really grow up with social media. So we're kind of like old people when it comes to, being like having a strong presence online. We could definitely be better, could be so much better in promoting and, putting up posts and all that. But for me, I don't want it to feel like forced, so that we rehearse and no one takes any pictures. Like, oh, bummer. I don't really feel the need to be like in the studio. Some people are like all the time, and it's super smart. I mean, that is of course the way you should do it. But for me, I'm not really interested in that part. I think like my own social media, my private account is, I mean, that can be, having a beer on a Wednesday. But with the band, I don't know. I think for me, it's the playing that's the fun part, and making music, not so much doing like cool photo shoots. Videos, I think videos are fun because I've always loved watching music videos, but that's more doing it for ourselves maybe than to be like to break through. I rather want to play and get an audience that way. Exactly. Because also the internet is fucking scary. I
agree.
I'm very afraid of the internet and how fucking rude and mean people are. Like, I remember at the beginning when we started releasing music, I was so afraid of comments and to read comments, because I know that I'm not, it's the classical, you get like 10 comments, 9 of them are really good and nice, and 1 is mean, and you get like the mean one gets stuck in your head. I read everything. I can admit I do this, but I've learned to like filter out, because people who sit on YouTube and, say that people are shit and they should kill themselves. I mean, they're not well. So I'm not going to take that personally. I would be more sad if like someone I really looked up to was like, you suck. You should do something else with your time. That would be crazy. But Yeah, the internet is hard. Like I have a friend, he posted on Instagram just the other day. He posted him singing on TikTok in the car, and he is one of the best singers I know. He's freaking amazing. He's beautiful. He looks like a lion, and people were commenting rude shit. You should, you
Oh,
know, and the person who writes like that, I mean, get help. Like get a life.
yeah. Yeah, I don't deal with that. I mean, I just, filter the comments. So I approve certain things or don't approve. That's how I was speaking of YouTube. But so
Mhm,
far, I'm not using, Instagram and Facebook. But I don't
mhm,
know, like maybe I make it because of the channel or something.
mhm,
But the thing is, I really, I can't deal with that. There are a lot of rude things, and it really affects, no matter how much sometimes we don't admit it, it can affect our mental health. But the
yeah.
thing is not to respond to those because you give them attention.
Mhm,
Just ignore it, delete it or something. That's the best
mhm,
way because it's like some kind of a chain. You continue and it all adds up and it just becomes worse, like a disease,
mhm, mhm.
yeah. But what is the best way of dealing with bullshit? I mean, your personal way, like in general, no, doesn't matter, like comments or anything, like rude people or bad day, anything.
Well, my mother taught me to kill people with kindness. If someone's an asshole, you just be fucking well.
Yeah,
And I think in many cases that works good because
yeah,
people
yeah,
don't really know. I mean, because some people are rude just because they want the
yeah,
reaction. They want you to get pissed. They want you to be rude back to them so they can
yeah,
keep on being mean because then it's, a two-way
yeah,
argument.
yeah,
But so I like, just the ironic
yeah, yeah, just like, yeah,
roast songs like we did a cover our record label, they do like these redux albums where they make um classic albums, and they do like a cover album, so it's different bands play different songs, and they were making one of a AC/DC Back in Black album. And like, I mean, the rooster of the bands that were on that, it was like Udo Dieter Schneider, like it was like freaking cool people. And they
yeah,
asked us if we wanted to do a cover. And we were like, oh, so we're like the smallest band. We're probably gonna get like, one of the songs that no one really cares about. But we were assigned to do Back in Black. And we all wanted to no decline because it's one of the most iconic rock songs in the world. And you know that people are gonna hate you.
yeah,
People are gonna
yeah,
hate you
yeah,
for doing that. So that was a good experience, just to like read people's really mean comments and just be like, like we had on YouTube. I think I remember, oh, someone said, what was it? They were like, oh, this cover is so fucking horrible. I can't even like imagine what their original music must sound like. It's just
yeah,
things like that. And I mean, that's kind of funny. I mean, I can take that. I'm not going to take it personal because I mean, I know that you're not supposed to do covers of songs like that. We did it. No one died. You know, the original song is still out there.
yeah. It's impossible just live up to people's expectations. There will be always
Mm,
people who support you and people who don't like you, so why bother? Like, do what you
yeah,
like and that's it, like, and
definitely.
yeah, and tell me, what would you like to recommend? Like, I don't know, it can be artist, your favorite movie, book, TV show, like whatever. I'm hoping to see fourth season of True Detective, although first one is
Mm.
like, that's
The
it.
first one is so good. I didn't
Like,
watch the second one. I watched like 2 episodes of the second one.
yeah,
I didn't really get stuck, but I watched the third one. I thought the third one was also really, really good.
yeah.
Fourth season of that would be really, really cool. Um, I think now I'm just, watching Peep Show for like the millionth time again. Um, hmm, what can I recommend? What have I been? Feels like I've been in kind of a time where I've just had so much work and stuff, and I kind of tend to shut things off when I have a lot of work, and I've been playing like every weekend now with different bands. So when I come home, I'm like, I just want to have quiet. I've actually been listening to a lot of like pods. I don't normally do that because I don't have the attention span to listen to a whole episode of something. But I've recently been listening to a lot of like true crime. I had my phone here, so I checked on Spotify what I had like on repeat to like see what I actually listened to. And at the moment, it's Nick Cave. I love Nick Cave. He's here in the background.
Oh, cool.
His the live album that he made during the pandemic at Alexandria Palace. Oh, it's yeah. If you haven't listened to that album, I can highly recommend it if you want a good cry.
Well, I'm always up to that. Like, you know, I am like, you know, when you ask, are you emo? Dude, I'm emo, you know, ever since I was born. Like, what do you expect? I like my playlist be like Lil Peep because I recently got into him. And people be like, you know, some of my friends, how can you listen to that? Because I have certain those kind of moments. I was like, dude, did you ever hear carefully any of his songs? I mean, he was just rapping about his life, but certain things were so freaking emotional. It was like, what was that? And you know, that atmosphere he creates in you know, guitar parts, it's like totally, you know, grungy, rap, emo vibe. And I was like, it's like lyrics are super emotional. And I was like, this dude was genius. Like totally, you know, that kind of Kurt Cobain kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Like I was, and also I had weird changes. Like then I like Mark, who was singing in Screaming Trees. He recently,
Mark Lanigan.
Yeah, he recently sadly passed away, but I totally recommend him. You probably,
I actually recorded a song with him.
Oh,
on a Swedish band called Domkraft. They released an album like 4 years ago. And they contacted me and were like, "Oh, we're making a duet. Do you want to sing?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And I was just assuming a duet with like insert random Swedish singer. And I came to the studio and they were like, "Yeah, so Mark Lanigan's recording the other verse next week."
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was crazy. I almost puked.
I mean, I don't know. He was like amazing. I don't know. Of course, PJ Harvey, the Gun Club, like those are the things I just can't. You cannot. I can listen to that the whole day, like on repeat. And also recently, I got into that band. I think it's called A Hangman's Chair. Like they're from France. They're
that sounds familiar.
Like I'm just like constantly on repeat, and I was like even practicing to sing certain song, and my friend was like, wait, you how long did you listen to? I just started, but I totally got into them. They're like doom, but more like, I don't know, it's not like really stoner kind of doom, it's more like kind of goth something, but I cannot even say goth. You know, you can listen to them, they're just amazing.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Make
And
a playlist.
I definitely will. I also like, you know, making playlists for people, like birthday playlists. I have shower playlists. Like, why not? You know? Yeah. If Spotify is good for something, that's definitely that kind of thing. Or these are for making quick playlists. Because if I'm gonna use YouTube, I'm gonna need like 7 hours to make a playlist, you know. Yeah. And tell me, yeah, about your favorite writers. I was also curious to hear about that. What do you like to read?
At the moment, I love reading, but I have a hard time, you know, just reading one book.
Yeah.
I often read a lot of books at the same times, because I can't really like focus on one thing. Right now I'm actually reading what's it called in English? I think it's called The Satanic Verses.
Oh,
Of
Salman?
yeah.
Yeah. I heard about him, but I haven't read it. You know, can you say something about it?
I haven't gotten super far because the book is like this thick, so it's going to take me probably a year to get through it. because it was one of those books that I've read about. I've just heard about it, all the controversy, and I like it. I think it's very entertaining, but I think I wish I knew more about Islam, because I think that would maybe make me understand it more, because at this point I'm not really sure what the controversy is about. But that's just my thing, because I don't really know a lot about Islam. So I've been like trying to find one of my Muslim friends to read it. We could have like a book club, because I'm really interested in what part is, offensive, or, but for like entertainment, I think it's a good book so far. I think it feels very visual. I would love to see this as a movie, but I'm assuming since the book hasn't been received well, maybe making a movie wouldn't be like a great idea. But I really like biographies. I like, history. Novels can be hard sometimes, because I really have to be super invested in it for it to be entertaining. I like, interesting life stories. I recently bought Neil Young's biography that I'm going to read. I'm really excited about that. I know Mark Lanigan's book. Emma works at a bookstore here in Falun.
Yeah, she told me. Yeah,
she's tipped me about the Mark Lanigan book, so I really want to read that one. And I like Nick Cave's books. I like his way of writing. A lot of Swedish authors. Jon Ajvide, he's like the Swedish Stephen King. I really like horror,
Yeah, you have to send me that. Okay, I can just show you what I have here. Just a second. Yeah. I think I can find certain books, but it's a mess here, so I hope you won't mind. But it's like this for now. Just a second. I have a lot of books here, so, and I'm not really arranging my room, so please don't mind it.
Oh, don't.
But situation. What?
Nope.
It's like this, mostly like this,
I love that Lemmy one. White Lie Fever is so good.
And of course, yeah, but honestly, nice. I have hard time reading him again, because I don't have good focus as I had in high school, because he is really, really hard to read. But Stephen King is always welcome. I don't know, like Baudelaire, of course. There are a lot of something like that, like easier, but like something of a good quality. Oscar Wilde, Poe, things like that, classics.
Yeah. I mean, I love poetry and like that kinds of easy, just just read through shorter novels and things like that. I think it's really nice.
Yeah. I had like, I mean, people thought I was crazy. I mean, it's not that I'm not, but I was like watching some slasher movies, like some craziness, and then like it was up to 6 a.m. And then I was reading the most romantic poetry ever, like like and something really kind of erotic, but like John Wilmot, who was super like horny and twisted and everything. And it was just people be like, you're totally insane. Like you're watching like, I don't know, Hellraiser, all the parts, then you're reading this, you're not really well. Get well.
I mean, you need all of the different inputs, you need both the romantic and also the gory kinds. I mean, you need the good and the evil. Like
yeah, that's what, when I was watching Immortal interview like many years ago, when Abbott was still in the band, and they were speaking about like generally the life is about balancing good and evil in yourself. Like that's the trickiest part ever, but you always need balance in something, and how do you arrange it? Well, it's the tricky part.
You need different inputs. Yeah, I mean that's true, because you can never to be sad, you need to be happy. To be happy, you need to it's always the yin and yang. But yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just got an idea. So you told me that you like to go exploring when you have some free time, when you hang out with the band members or your friends in general. So do you ever think about creating certain video, like maybe your fans would like to see some of the adventures and everything to get to know you better? Not like, no, I don't think it's like the same vibe when we're kind of posting pictures all the time. It's just like something unique from your life. Like I was, before all that, like social media expansion, I was watching Pantera home video.
Mhm.
It was like I can watch it like all over again. I mean, you can also create something similar or something
Mhm.
totally different. What do you think about that?
Well, I have my private Instagram, which I would
Yeah.
say is very much like that already. It's like
Oh,
videos of, I think, me in the forest, me eating, and my cat.
wow. Yeah,
So I
but
think
it's
if you follow me on my private account, then you get a lot. But that's all I think with like that we were talking about before, the exposing. I don't think I want to be too much, out on.
yeah, out there. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I tried
I
making a TikTok account, but I only posted, videos of my cat.
Well, that's also cool. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot
people
of
love
people.
cats, so
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
you got more likes than I'll ever get. So,
Yeah, I also had TikTok, I mean, till recently. And I and my friend from Brazil, like she's playing guitar and like singing occasionally. And we did some, covers, like, I don't know, Nirvana, Screaming Trees, Alice in Chains. But since I'm not that good at singing, and I was like, okay, shut this down. I don't want to do that. I want to really like, take some classes like
Mhm.
because I'm not really I really have to work harder to achieve what I want, and of course I have super high goals like Tool and like Liv Christine. I interviewed her recently. She is amazing.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Oh, if you give classes, I understood that you also give classes, right?
Oh God,
You're
no,
not.
no, no. I took
Oh,
classes recently,
oh,
just to understand, but I haven't. I worked at like summer camp and I gave kids classes, but
oh.
I'm not even sure that they liked it. So I'm not a great teacher,
No, I was thinking, yeah, because
unfortunately.
yeah, I misunderstood. I thought you were giving also,
Oh no.
vocal lessons, and I thought I can recommend you or something like that.
Well, one day if I could figure it out, the whole technical part, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not great at that, I think.
yeah, because a lot of people are earning money that way. Many, many,
Mm,
many people, or so many people from the bands are giving classes, and that's like some of them earn way better than when they're touring, even.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good way to get like an extra income, the master class.
yeah, yeah. Okay. And tell me about your future plans. Like, would you like to participate in certain projects? Like you mentioned photography, you like doing photography, or
Mhm.
would you like, joining some other bands to record something like unique? What have you imagined, for the future?
Well, I think with music, I've always had the goal that I want to release at least a song, but preferably an album in
Yeah.
every genre before I die, because I like
Yeah.
all kinds of music.
Same.
I'm really into country at the moment, and I would love to make like a country album, like a bluegrass classic album. Um, I have a synth pop band that's more like Depeche Mode. We're gonna release new music now, and that's gonna be really
Oh,
fun to like explore that part more, because also, when you shift genres, you kind of shift the voice as well, and it gives a
yeah.
little more room to learn new things and to
Yeah.
dive into the genres, and then you can just like, ooh,
Yeah, it will be
maybe I'll
cool.
rap, you know.
Yeah, it will be cool.
um,
Like every day you create another genre. So today you are like black metal, like I don't
mm,
know, kind of I don't know, dark funeral, whatever, but your own
mm,
style, like
yeah.
Then next time you'll be like I don't know, some death metal. Then next time you'll be like Tom Waits. Why not? Like
Oh yeah, I love Tom Waits. I would love to. Yeah. Yeah, because
yeah,
I mean there's so much good music. I could never be like, I play in one band and that's all I'm gonna like. No,
yeah.
that's never gonna happen.
Life is too
Uh,
short for that,
yeah,
right?
and that's with art overall. Like, I mean, I like making videos, photography, painting, all of
Yeah,
these kinds of expressions, because I
yeah,
really don't like the world.
yeah. I was
I like being
imagining.
in my bubble.
Yeah, I was imagining doing some kind of photography here. Like I even found a good photographer. He was doing some
Mhm.
kind of boudoir or gothic kind of photography, but generally he is also doing shootings for weddings. but
Mhm.
he has so many different styles. And I recently found him, and I recommended to do some kind of I don't know, cosplay, some kind of cyberpunk something, but
Mm.
like apocalyptic kind of. I have weird, crazy ideas. Like
Huh?
it's insane. I cannot even say that. I can show it. I know exactly what I would like to do, but you won't believe me how hard it is to find people here for that. Like I
Mm.
asked so many people, and no
Mm.
one would like to do that with me. I'm kind of sad. And I was like, if you were here, you would probably be up to that.
Fuck yeah. If you ever come to Sweden, I mean, let's do it.
Yeah, 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 we
I
can
mean, that's
collaborate. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, with the internet, I mean, you can always, that's, I think, the nice part about music is that you don't have to actually see each other anymore to record together. And I
yeah,
mean, with all kinds of art, you can, make something and you pass it on. So definitely collab. I mean, people are so great at like Photoshop. I'm really not good at Photoshop and stuff like that, but there's probably someone on the internet that's really
yeah.
good,
Yeah, I have seen that people also collaborate with photography online, but I
Mhm.
have no idea what are their ways, how
Mhm.
do they manage to do everything. But
Mhm.
also there were, when I used Instagram, I met some LA bands,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Oh, can you be in our video?" But like you're in LA, how do I do that? Just like listen to our song and just jam with it and do something. But sadly,
Mhm.
I don't know, like we never made it. I mean, I wasn't sure if it was going to work out and like, but now I believe, that I would be into it if I,
Mhm.
if I found something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great. So if you figure out something, you can
Yeah,
let me know.
for sure.
Okay. And tell me, what are your plans for later? I'm sorry, I probably took a lot of your time, but
Oh,
it was
no, no, no.
amazing.
Yes, this has been really fun. Yeah, I have nothing. My boyfriend's asleep, so
Oh,
oh no, I should shut the door. He's passed out, so he's not. So yeah, I'm just gonna chill, maybe go and sleep in a while.
okay.
My cat's screaming outside, so I'm gonna let him in. Maybe have a
Oh,
sandwich or something before I go to bed.
oh, cool, cool, cool. Okay. So that's great. And of course, I suppose, I mean, if you want to say something about the, future performances or to announce something important about the band or in general, you can say now, of course, for the end.
Oh, I'm really good bad at just uh, be nice and heil Satan. Is my message to the world, I guess.
Okay. And yeah, I was so glad that we finally met, and of
Yeah,
course we
super
have
nice.
to exchange playlists. That's like
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
yeah.
I'll email you my Instagram and we can talk there maybe. Or
I
email.
mean, I shut it down, Instagram and Facebook, but
Um,
I use Telegram,
oh,
Viber, Skype, like whatever, everything
I have
else.
none of those, but I have your email, so I'll email you.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. So if
Perfect.
you get any crazy idea, I will be up for it. And
Hell
of
yeah.
course, I want you to know that you and your band, like and your friends, are always welcome here. I would like to
Mhm.
be your host. So have that in
Love
mind.
that. I would
Yeah.
definitely have that in mind. That
Yeah.
would be awesome.
And your cats. Cats.
My cat. My cat. I only have one
Cool.
now. Kind of want more about Wolfie about that.
Cool, cool, cool. So it was so nice having you, and I hope you will get some good rest and hope to speak to you soon. Of course.
Yes. You too. Have a good night as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And this was really fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me. So good night. Yeah.
Yeah, good
See
night.
you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye bye.